3 and 0.
The following announcement has been paid for by
The ENN Podcast.
He has a good energy, you guys.
Can you feel
Bored.
excitement? And also,
The merchandise, wearing the hats.
Is what I'm seeing for real?
Here live from Lincoln Financial.
I can't wait till this video's over so I can say his name anymore.
Music.
Wow.
Man, again, and I hate to do this again, but these are goofy.
What the hell? What is that? Whoa! What the hell?
And more.
What's his next book gonna be called? Got you stuck up. I did not see that coming.
I don't know what that is. It's not the gritty. The beat is hitting. As a matter of fact, get that music up just a little bit louder as the Philadelphia Eagles are 3 and 0 in one of two 3 and 0 football teams after week 3 of the NFL season. I am in such a good mood today, and that's what happens after a Sunday like yesterday. I got to admit, going into this football game yesterday, and by the way, I'm professional wrestler Chris Wilde. This is Bar 4133. Hard to remember with the excitement. I'm honestly just twisting up my words here, and I'm not even going to start this video over because the excitement is pouring through my veins, guys. I had this as a L. When the season started, if you go back to my preview, my predictions for the schedule, I had this as a loss. Going into Washington against Carson Wentz, I figured this would be his Super Bowl, right? This is his time to shine. I remember when Donovan McNabb got traded over to Washington and we faced him. He didn't do much in the game, but the Washington then Redskins won the football game. I thought it would kind of be something like similar like that. And even coming into this week, I almost felt the same kind of vibes, you know, coming off a big win against the Minnesota Vikings, a short week. Again, going into Washington, facing the Commanders, who had a letdown of a game against the Detroit Lions, which, by the way, might not really be much of a letdown. I know the Lions lost yesterday to the Vikings too, but man, they don't look like the bum team that we thought they were going to be coming into the season. Again, this isn't a Detroit podcast, so we're not even going to talk about that. But I kind of had those vibes, like the Eagles could go in to Washington and put something sloppy together and lose. And then as the week progressed, I started to feel a little bit better, but I thought, man, this is still going to be a tough game. And then Carson Wentz said this.
Good defense. They play fast. They play hard. I wouldn't say they're anything exotic, so we kind of know what we're going to get, but that just means we got to execute and out-execute.
So he's not being extremely disrespectful, but he is. He says it's a great defense, but then he goes and he says they don't show anything exotic. We kind of know what we're getting from them. To me, if I'm a defensive player or a defensive coach, that's bulletin board material. Now, I'm not saying that's why Carson Wentz got sacked 9 times, why going into the fourth quarter, I think he had the offense, or he himself had -1 passing yard. I don't think that's why, but again, you're just I'm a big believer in karma and juju, and you are smearing that bad juju all over yourself after I thought Carson went through a week without saying anything stupid. Now look, let's talk about Carson Wentz. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, number 11, the lesser of the number 11s as it seems. I was a huge Carson guy, a huge Carson fan. Who couldn't be? If you're an Eagles fan and you've been waiting for a Super Bowl for so long, and then 2017 comes and Carson Wentz comes into the picture and he looks like an MVP, almost better than Tom Brady at that point before he gets hurt, heartbreak. And then you hear about how he's helping Nick Foles, and Nick Foles looks awesome, and we get that Super Bowl, and they're holding the Lombardi together, and you figure the next time that this will happen, Carson Wentz is going to be holding it. And what a story it'll be. What a book that can be written. Hurt, comes back, wins the Super Bowl. This guy is our Tom Brady. This guy is our Peyton Manning. That's what we thought. That's how we thought it was going to be written. And I don't have to go through the history. You guys know. From there was so much behind-the-scenes stuff we didn't know about. Darren Sproles almost beating him up for being a bad teammate. Alienating half of the roster. Not being in touch with anything, not being in touch with his coaches, being disrespectful. There was just so much that was thrown out there that even I at the time called bullshit on. Alshon Jeffrey reporting or going behind people's backs to Josina Anderson and talking about Carson. I thought that was horrible. I thought that was crazy. John McClain, or Jeff McClain, whatever his name is, in the Inquirer, printing all these bad stories about Carson. I thought that was bullshit. How could a guy be so bad? This God-loving Christian man, how could there be such a bad aura around him? But there was. He goes to Indianapolis after wanting a trade from the Philadelphia Eagles because the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts, which even I thought wasn't a good move. Goes to Indianapolis. Everybody says he's going to shine there with Frank Reich. The coach that coached him to that 2017 season. He's going to be amazing again. And then he gets traded after losing to a winless Jacksonville Jaguars team in a must-win game to get into the playoffs. Their owner had enough. He gets traded, so now he's on Washington, and the past 2 weeks he's looked great. He's been the NFL touchdown leader going into week 3, but he still made the same mistakes. He also had 4 interceptions, and they did lose to the Lions after a hapless and horrible first half. So we go into this game with Jalen Hurts, who has been nothing but disrespected, nothing but doubted. I mean, he was the anti-Carson Wentz, right? He wasn't drafted number 2. He was drafted in the second round. This is a guy that was benched in the national championship game, has had to prove himself time and time again, and just kept getting better and better and better. And even after taking the team to the playoffs last year, people come into this year, and there are fans, and there are content creators, national media, local media that are saying the only thing holding the Philadelphia Eagles back this year is their quarterback. I watched one guy say that it doesn't matter this year because the Eagles have Jalen Hurts as their quarterback. That's the disrespect he was getting because God forbid a 24-year-old man, 23 coming into the season, God forbid he improves. God forbid he works on his craft. He had some bad practices. He didn't have a stellar training camp. Open practice, they didn't dazzle with downfield passes. And still, people said, yeah, I don't know about this year. I'm thinking maybe 10, maybe 9 wins, maybe 8 wins. I don't know. They might not even hit 7 with Jalen Hurts as the quarterback because that's what we heard. And I know it's week 3, and I'm pounding and puffing out my chest, and he can have a horrible rest of the year. I don't know. But all I know is what I see now. All I know is what the present gives me. And what the present has given me is a Jalen Hurts that worked with Tom House in the summer, that had a couple meetings with Tom Brady from what I heard, if you believe that, who did nothing but work. And you hear about this now, the intangibles and the work that nobody sees. The stuff you do that you don't post on Instagram. And he has been absolutely stellar. Jalen Hurts has been MVP-like. Week 2 against the Vikings, he can't air it out. He doesn't have the arm. What does he do? Goes nuts, 333 yards. Week 3, in Washington. Oh, the Commanders got a good defense. There's no way he can replicate that. It's going to be a letdown game. Even I kind of said it was going to be a letdown game. What does he do? Over 300 yards, 24 points in the first half, 3 touchdowns. And again, we can talk about the second half and how they don't score in the second half because they don't need to. And yeah, it does piss me off and get on my nerves. But they got a lot of, and I think that's why I'm so excited about this team. They still have things to work out. They still have things to figure out. The pass rush had 9 sacks on an offensive line that was missing their starting center, had 2 backup guards, and another tackle that had no idea what he was doing out there. And Carson Wentz, who holds on the ball for entirely too long, and we have dealt with for as long as we've known Carson Wentz. So yes, 9 sacks, great, awesome. I still want to see more from the pass rush. Can you believe I'm even saying that after a 9-sack performance? I thought the defense was stellar. The defense was Super Bowl and MVP-like too, but I make this about Jalen because that's what we've made the whole summer about. Jalen Hurts went out there for the third week, week 3, and proved his doubters wrong. I thought the pass, Devontae Smith, the guy said there was too little to play in the league. 170 yards receiving, a touchdown, probably should have been 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, again, is proven why he's one of the best receivers in the league. I mean, all these guys are doing stuff. Zach Pascal, the enforcer, just getting those tough yards when you need them. The offensive line looking awesome. Jordan Mailata, I've got a short on the channel of him just destroying number 37 that came in for a blitz off the Washington Commanders. I mean, the line has been awesome. Guy like TJ Edwards, who, again, another walk-in, another guy that's been doubted. You know, they draft Nakobe Dean to take a spot, and he does nothing but say, hey, I'm one of the best in the league, and he's playing like it. Kazir White. I mean, I can go on and on and on. All these guys have played their role. Darius Slay, James Bradbury, who they get late. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson looks like he gets better as the weeks go by because he's learning the defense. That's why I'm excited about this team. And I could go into detail about yesterday. I think I did during my live. I'm not going to really go into all the stats and everything. You guys know 24-8. Garbage time stats for Carson Wentz and the Commanders at the end of the game. Really bad safety. I don't understand why they kept doing the inside runs. I'd love to see more from that run game. I'd love to see how this is a team, and guys like Miles Sanders aren't really getting overly frustrated for their lack of production. Again, I think it goes back to the leadership, the coaching staff. Shane Steichen, I really like seeing how into this game as he is on the sideline calling plays, which allows Nick Sirianni to actually coach, which people put him down for in the summer. I think everything has been really good so far. Eagles are 3-0. In the NFC East, I'm not buying into the Super Bowl talk. I'm not buying into the best team in the league talk. It is only week 3, but this is an exciting and fun team to watch right now. The present is all we have, and at the present, our Eagles are 3-0 and looking awesome. With that being said, guys, I've run my mouth enough. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, go Birds, and I'll see you later.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! I need Eagle Nation to stand.